I didn't really know how to start this video. I suppose I wanted to just talk about some musings of creativity. What I'm starting with is I'm going to put a little Bible verse up on the top of the video just so that I can show you, I suppose, my vision for what this piece will be. I've been thinking about it for just over a month now, and the driving force that has been talking about creativity for me has been several things. I've been musing on God, on death, grief, creativity as a whole, the loss of David Lynch, a great director who really spoke to me over the past 7 years or so. One who was so creative. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the power of reading, the imagination, of dreaming, of dancing in experiences of loss and goodness, suffering and joy. All of those things are life, and life is a dance of that. As I record this, I'm up against a backdrop of what is my room. I'll be shortly packing this up because I'm moving out for the first time. I'm terrified, happy, scared, excited. Those are just a few of the emotions that I've experienced over the past few months in ramping up towards this. But as I've thought more and more about what creativity and what life has meant to me in this current season, I cannot do anything but start with worshipping the Creator. And so that's where I start. Thank you, Lord, for my creativity, for the vision that you've given me to be able to put things to screen, as I not so eloquently put it on my Instagram or Facebook handle. I paint with my camera. God, you have given me such a beautiful paintbrush, and I'm so grateful for every moment that I can create, to dream, and to achieve. So this video is all owed to you. So yes, I am moving out, and shortly after I'll be packing up. Even more so, that's interesting, is that I'm actually filming this just as we're bracing for a Cyclone Alfred. Just feels like almost nothing's happened yet, but it's slowly building up, it's slowly ramping up, and so I thought I should get this out before the weather picks up. And so in the meantime, what I've been doing is just musing over some short things. So this is Tristan's short musings on creativity, art, and life. And I can't really do anything else but start with some books. Number one is this book. This is the Game of Thrones notebook from Moleskine, which I much prefer people to know about because I'm not actually that much of a fan of Game of Thrones. If you ever talk to me much, I usually am averse to things that are a little bit more perverse in that sort of department, and so when I think of Game of Thrones, I'm not always the biggest fan. But regardless, what I've done with this book is I've created many stories. For example, storyboards. I write poems. I write visions, dreams, things that I think of. I even started it as a Bible study book, but that's beyond the point. Sometimes I think of things, and I'll just read out some of my recent musings, which is sort of post losing David Lynch. I say, reel's a creativity killer. I don't believe much in my mobile phone as I used to. I think I used to trust it as a bit of a crux, but I found that the algorithm and things that are designed around search and search engines have really actually deviated me from my creativity, rather than the world feeding my perception of and my worldview and my understanding of how to create things. I've allowed the internet to just feed me these short dopamine hits, but nothing that's never really filled me. And so I write this: distractions are an identity killer. The best ideas are the quiet ones. And how do we make quiet ideas loud? Well, we need to quiet out everything else that's around us, beyond the things that are important, which is family, God, and I guess the relation to the self. Conquering fear. Amidst this week, I've seen so much fear, so much anxiety around the cyclone, and I think, well, how does one conquer fear? I can easily judge those who have, mass bought meats or toilet paper or whatever the thing may be. But where in my department am I being easily anxious or fearful? And I immediately know it's to do with the fact that I'm moving out. Next, I turn to one of the more recent things that I've been writing. Gone. So this is a poem or musing I wrote on death, because unfortunately that's been the journey for the past month or so. He's gone. No longer at work or at home. No longer dreaming. The mist has passed by. Death is cruel. Well, the devil wants it to be. Things are too short for me not to dream, so I look at the stars. That was just a thought. This book has been very important to me, and there's been about a 3-year gap until I actually picked it up again. And that's because I think I lost a bit of that fire. I wasn't as guided. And so as I look at this book and try to build on it, I recognize how important it is for my life. And I hope as you're watching this too, you can find something that is your creative outlet. I genuinely believe that everyone has a creative outlet within them. Whether that be their building, the ability to build a house, being a carpenter, that is a creative skill, both mathematically and artfully so. Next thing is being a painter or a writer, being a dreamer, or staging a bedroom, putting things on walls, putting things on paper, writing things on computers, elaborate codes for gaming, whatever it may be. Everyone has a creative outlet. And so my dream and my belief is that each of you can find a way to apply yourself to that. And I'm working on doing it better every single day. My next one is this book, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. I almost hesitantly speak about this because it's only influenced me more recently since I picked it up. But I think it's been an important part of my journey because what it's spoken to me about is the importance of, exactly as the title says, eliminating hurry from one's life. I'm very easily a distracted person and a busy person at best. If you look at the things behind me, you realize that I have many loves and many desires and many wants. But in reading this and in personal reflection, even beforehand, I realized that I didn't need many things, that I only needed one thing, which was the Lord. And as I came to read this, I realized the importance that that has had over my life, and recognizing it more and more has brought me closer to my dreams and desires under His will. And so I've been very, very joyful about that. I don't have much more to say, except I think that anyone should pick this up and read it. Especially those who consider themselves Christian. It speaks into the chaos of the modern world, and albeit while it has certainly a perspective of someone who, may have different ideas politically, I do think there's a lot to be said about the importance of taking a step back, reading this, dreaming a bit more, and allowing time to slow just a little bit longer. And as I sit now, I recognize that I'm feeling that just talking here. So I'm very grateful for this book so far. Just under halfway. Finally, and this is another book that I picked up recently, from the great David Lynch. I believe this was published in, and I'll just confirm it, 2018. And it was actually published by a Australian publisher, which is really cool. It is a fantastic book, Room to Dream. And that's exactly kind of what the vision of I've been slowly slipping closer towards, which is this idea of creating room to dream, to be a dreamer, to exist in a place that sometimes isn't as familiar for some, but to kind of dance in it. And what I love about Lynch is that as a creative, he was always one who was able to feel comfortable in those places and make actors feel that way as well. And so that's really what I'm taking from it. Another thing that I've taken from it, and a bit distressingly so, is that he was a man that was very fixated on the self, through self-worship and a meditative practice that really didn't take him on a journey that I think that this book is trying to say he did. Through his practice and discovery of meditation, his family fell apart. He was more distant from those in his life. Rather, he drew closer to a group that, while accepting him, the whole concept of their vision is that it's a cyclical life of death and being reborn, never really seeking any greater purpose except trying to get to a deeper understanding of consciousness. What a mundane one. And that loss of his life actually broke my heart, because I went, what a spiritual thinker. His films, his books, his art, his sculptures, all of it was under the guise of a very spiritual and deeply minded person. He wasn't aloof. He didn't do things just because he felt like it. He did it because he was told to, because there was something greater within him. And his family had always spoken that into his life. He grew up in a Christian household, and so for me there was a deep sadness that someone who was so close to that, but still so far. And so as I read this book, it's very reflective, and similarly it's written as he speaks, because it's a partial biography, autobiography. And so as I read it, I am able to reflect and think, and I'm really enjoying it. So it's speaking a lot to me. And that's pretty much all I had for this, After this, I'm going to be, as I said, packing up some boxes, getting rid of the shelf. I thought I'd be able to just enjoy it on camera for a little bit longer. But I hope that this video spoke to you. What is your dream? What is your creative vision? And where are you seeking God within that? There is so much time that we can waste on anything. I can literally number on my hands, and maybe more, of the choices that I've made today that have taken me away from that vision. And I'm not here to say, you're horrible, do better. All I'm saying is that we can seek more, and that there is more. And as I look more towards my Creator in my studies, and even in that scripture that I bring up at the front of this video, the fact that the kings were meant to seek out the mysteries of the world. I want to seek out the mysteries. I want to dance in the middle of the chaos, and it's kind of funny as Cyclone Alfred comes that I will almost experience that again. I embrace the mystery, I embrace a bit of the chaos, because I know that I am safe and that I am well in His hands. And as I continue to dream and drive towards and strive towards the things that I see ahead, I go, it is well with my soul, and I am joyful. Come what may, everything happens for a purpose. And so in the midst of grief, just going through a few funerals recently, picking up my father's plaque, being able to see again and come close again to the thing that changed my life. So I recognize that while as a part of it is not the essence of it. And that's what I want to say to you, that the essence of life is not loss. It is not sufferings. It is not tragedy. It's not your anxiety, your depression, your diagnosis. The essence of life is relationship with Him. And that's all I can say. As I pray, as I read the Word, as I dream, as I speak to others, I'm just so overwhelmed by the beautiful light that is within each person. And all I want to do is just encourage people more towards that. And so with my film now, that is the dream. And this video is the start of that. Expect to see more. I don't know when. But as I come closer to that, I hope that you'll be able to support me as I continue this journey of seeking first the kingdom and being able to share to you, beautiful people, why creativity matters. There is so much joy that can be found in it. And I wouldn't be able to go at least one video or one creative discussion without saying Twin Peaks is the best thing ever, and you should watch it. And it's always spoken to me. So as I go into next month, where I'll be filming a short film, I'm really excited to do a period piece that will be a bit surreal, a bit weird. Heck, the script is going to be a little bit different probably by the time I get around to it. I am so keen. So thank you for taking the time to listen to my musings, my rantings, and everything in between, because I wouldn't be here with this camera, with this gear, with my supporters, with the incredible people that I work with. So I'm so grateful. Thank you for watching.